What's going on, everyone, and welcome to 1010 Outdoors. And this is the second installment of the 2025 deer gear. And in this episode, I'm going over the saddle setup and mostly the setup over the saddle itself. Everything that I need to get into the tree, up and down, is in this saddle system. So I've got two saddle pouches, one on either side of me, and everything, all the gear that I need to climb, hunt, and get back down is in this system here. So without too much more, let's get right into it, and we'll see you in just a second. All right, y'all, let's get into this system. Real quick, a backstory on some of the, I guess, qualifications that I might have to be able to put this video together. I've been saddle hunting since 2019, at least the latter part of 2019. My wife, Sarah, she got me the Ambush Pro from Trophy Line for Christmas, and from that day forward, been saddle hunting. I was in that thing just about every day for the rest of the season, and was trying to get it figured out and just get accustomed to saddle hunting for the first time. And it just sparked an interest in me, and I've just been saddle hunting ever since. That's basically the only way that I hunt moving forward, or since then. This is one of the saddle pouches from the Ambush Pro, and I just moved it over to the Covert Light, which this is what I've been running for the last couple of years. I got the Covert Light from Trophy Line from my good friend Mark over at DIY Bow Hunting, and some of the reasons why I've transitioned to this one, there's quite a few upgrades to the Covert series from Trophy Line over the Ambush Pro. I don't even think they can continue to carry the Covert series. They've moved on to the Venatic, and I think a Nimbus is one of the latest ones. I'm not super up to snuff with what the latest saddle from Trophy Line is, but the improvements that were made to this saddle moving up from the Ambush, we'll just start right here. The waist belt, just to keep it up and keep it tight to you, they included a Cobra style buckle, 2-inch webbing that's adjustable on both sides, so you can really get this thing cinched up and where you need it to be for your walk in. And obviously you can kind of loosen it up once you get set at hunting height. That's typically what I do. The next nice upgrade feature is bridge loops. So we have the bridge loops on both sides. The Ambush Pro only had a single non-adjustable fixed bridge, so this is a great improvement, being able to have the bridge loops and an adjustable bridge. The other fixed piece of webbing was the leg loops on the Ambush Pro, and these here on the Covert, you can open these up. You got these nice little miniature Cobra buckles, so as you're walking in, you don't need to have it on. You can just strap them on once you get to the tree, so a really nice feature with that. And moving on to the bridge itself, this is the original bridge that came with this saddle, and I think it's somewhere between 8 or 9 millimeter rope. I'm not sure the name or what brand it is, but it just came with the saddle. Girth hitched on one bridge loop, and then on the other, originally it had a Prusik loop or a Prusik knot with a carabiner connection to the opposing bridge loop. That really didn't allow me to really cinch this up and get it as tight as possible for my walk in. It was a little too loose for my liking, and too much flop for me just walking through the woods. So, and the other downside to the carabiner connection point, you really couldn't lock it in place on the bridge loop. So what I've done on this side, you've got the girth hitch, and this one here, once that's been weighted, it's going to stay where you put it. And if you need to adjust it up or down on the bridge loop to put more pressure on the lower side or the upper side, you can do that with the girth hitch. But the carabiner wouldn't really allow that. So I basically took the same Prusik that came with the saddle and just removed the carabiner and girth hitched it around this bridge loop on this side. Got my tag ends pulled around and terminated with a double fisherman's knot. So this is going to be secure, and I have the same securing mechanism that I have on this side, so I can set it wherever I want to, and once it's weighted, it's going to lock it in place to give me that comfort that I need. And like I said, also this thing is, I can completely cinch it up, and it's going to be tight to me, and it's not going to flop around as I'm walking in to my sit. So this is just a black diamond. It's got this area on the bottom, little kick out on the gate, so it just keeps the tether always at the or it keeps my bridge always at the bottom of the carabiner, so I can clip into my Longhorn Agile up here on the top, and it always just stays right there. No matter how much it flips around, it's always going to be readily accessible to hook right into my climbing Agile hitch. So moving on to the second bridge here. So I'm going to make a few references to the JRB tree climbing channel. I'll put a link down below to his page so you guys can go check him out. He can actually dive into a lot of these hitches and the terminology a little better than I can, and show you how to put them together. So I'm just going to reference his name quite a bit. But this is the second bridge. Kind of his idea is where I got this from. It's looped around, gives me two sets of cordage across from bridge to bridge. It just doubles the strength. This is 6mm Sterling TRC, and it's terminated with the adjustability with this Blake's hitch, so I can pull it up tight or adjust it back out to lengthen the second bridge. And if you look here, it looks a little jumbled, but there's a method to it. It's actually weaved around the main bridge so that it stays in place with the main bridge. So both bridges stay together at the attachment point in the same area. So same on the other side, it just goes through this clove hitch, and so that way it just stays where I put it. This is the tag end of the Blake's tension hitch, and I've just got a triple knot on the end here, and I've got it just stowed away in the lineman's loop. So I don't use lineman belt or lineman's loops or belt for my climbing system, so that's why I've just got that tucked in there. We'll just move along and get into the climbing system. So everything I need to climb is in these two pouches, and if I'm going to SRT climb, if I've got a preset paracord in a tree somewhere on some private land or public land, I can strictly use this pouch entirely and to do my climb, and get what I stand on is also inside this pouch here, and then I can get back down all from this one pouch. The main system that I use to climb though is two tether climbing. So if I'm just going in almost blindly, I can just pick a tree and climb it. I don't need a preset paracord loop in the tree. I've got a two tether system designed to fit in these two pouches right here. You can get me up just about any tree. This carabiner that you see is my main anchor point for my hunting tether, and it just stays right here. So it just leads right into this right hand pouch, and right here on the top I've got 8mm Rescue Tech, and this is roughly 36, 37 feet, something like that, and I've just got it hanked up like the butterfly orientation, so it can easily just be dropped and then it'll unravel itself. Another mention, the JRB bowline, and I've got it with these small loops here, and this is for the toggle doubled loop system. So I have transitioned over to using this for my two tether anchor system for the upper tether, and I think this is going to be like the end all be all for me personally, and I'll just throw this onto the tree just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So this gets pulled around the tree, and you just split these two loops, slide your main line through there, and then this carabiner goes in locks it in place. And once this is secure and tight, it's not going to go anywhere. But I've dabbled around in the last couple of years with different connection methods for my anchor point on this upper tether, and some days I can retrieve it really easy, some days I can't. If I fiddle with it once I'm at hunting height, I can usually orient it to where I can just pull it down afterwards. But this right here, I think, like I said, is going to be the end all be all. I'll get my pull down rope on here and I can just pull and it's going to come down. Fairly simple, fairly easy, because there's not a great amount of pressure or tension on this here. I mean, that's fairly easy to move back and forth, but once you cinch it and lock it in, I mean, it's not going to go anywhere, and it'll hold me perfectly fine. It's toggled in, but then when I'm done hunting, I can just pull this down and it's just going to come completely down and fall out of the tree, and that's what I need. So that is the upper tether for the 2-tether climbing. Next thing in the pouch is the garter hitch foot loop, and I'll deploy this on that same upper tether a little bit further down. I'll get it set, get it put into the system, and I can just stick my foot in there and I can adjust this up to wherever I need it to be for my my stride. However far I can step up, I have that adjustability to do that. The next thing in this pouch is this is the Longhorn hitch, and it's already preset, so I can quickly tie this on to my tether and hook in and transform it into the Longhorn Agile hitch. And this is my main connection point to my rope. Goes to my main bridge, and that pretty much completes my right side. So I'm just moving around. The last thing in this pouch is going to stay there till we get done with the other side. So we'll just keep on going. This is just a carabiner that I use for SRT climbing, or once I'm ready to rappel, this will come off and I'll use this on the second bridge, and I'll deploy the Munter friction hitch and use this to rappel down. I do have a tourniquet on my saddle. I keep it right in the middle, so that way I can get a hold of it from right-handed or left-handed, whichever the scenario I need it for. So that stays right there in the middle. And then moving on to the left side saddlebag, and right up here on the top is the second tether, and this is 8mm Sterling Oplux. I think it's around 8 feet or so, 8 feet give or take, plus or minus a little. I've got at one end, this is the upper end, I've got a better tether already pre-tied on. It's basically a double fisherman's knot, but on this, the smaller side is the 6mm TRC, and just goes through. It's secured in with this double fisherman's, and this tag end, you've got the overhand knot on the other opposing end. So once you lay your main line through here, this gets rolled over, slide this in and around, then that locks in, and then my tether is secured to the tree. So with these two easily on and off knots or hitches, these are knots, but I can easily move these over limbs as I'm climbing with the 2-tether system. So that's just part of this system, is just easily able to unloop it or unhook it, move it over a limb, and then climb up. And then once this one gets to the limb, I can unhook this one and then move it above the limb, and then just keep traveling up. So just moving down this second tether, I have the JRB 523 Ascender, and this I already have it preset with a carabiner, and this goes into the second bridge. A little further down from that, I've got a Swab East hitch, and I've got two terminated cowboy bowlines, and that just stays on this rope all the time. This is the only time I use it. It gets used every time I two-tether climb, so this just stays already set up and ready to go for the next piece of the puzzle in here. And this is just another foot loop with a gated carabiner. I'll just clip into both of those bowlines and then just rotate it around, so you've got this flat section to fit the 1-inch tubular webbing, and then the two bowlines are up in the top here. And then this is my left foot loop, give or take about 16 inches or so. And with the Swabish, if anybody is familiar with the Swabish, once it's loaded, you still are able to adjust it up and down once you've taken the load off of it, so it doesn't lock in too hard that you can't move it. So once I'm getting myself set at the base of the tree, I can adjust this up or down however I need it to fit moving up the tree. Just like the Garda hitch foot loop, I can move that one up or down, however I need it to start my climb. Before I start the climb though, the last thing that's in this pouch is my pull-up rope slash gear hanger slash pull-down rope. All three combined into one. Easy to use contraption. It stows away really nice. You can get your hands on one of these gear hangers from DIY bow hunting. This will just clip into a small carabiner on the bottom of the saddle right here on my left side. Bow goes on it, the other side to the saddle, and I'll just climb up, and once I'm set, that goes on, bow goes on it, pack goes on it, and I'm ready to hunt. But before that, just kind of recap, finish off what's in this pouch here. So to finish off like an SRT climb, that would solely be out of this bag, or the two-tether climbing. Once I get to hunting height, the last piece of the puzzle is my ring of steps. So I pack 4 steps on a over center buckle strap. I can get this deployed onto the tree, and I run 4 on most of the trees that I hunt are around the size of like a 5-gallon bucket, and I'll put 1 step at 6 o'clock, at 12 o'clock, and then somewhere around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and also the last one goes somewhere around 8 o'clock, 8:30. So I've got that good foot position on both sides of the tree, just a little in from 180 from each other. Just gives me a good comfortable position, and then with those second steps I can easily just shift over and work my way around the tree to either get into position or kind of conceal myself from approaching game, so that way if I'm not interested in shooting them and I just want to let them go through, I can get behind the tree just by shifting my feet and just basically just walk around and keep the tree in between me and the game that I'm after. So that is everything in the pouches. That's everything that I take with me in the woods on every trip, and just depending on where I'm going, if I've got a preset, I'll just use what's in this right side pouch. If I'm going to two-tether climb, I'll just combine the contents of both packs, and that's going to get me up and down the tree 100% safe. I'm secure at all times. So that's just the method that I've gone to, and we'll just wrap it up right here, guys. Alright, so there's the complete overview of my saddle system. I'll just leave it at that because it really wasn't based off of any particular saddle. You can run this two-tether climbing off of just about any saddle. I can, like I said, two-tether climb or SRT climb with what I've got in these pouches, what's on the saddle itself. And I started out with sticks, moved into one-stick climbing. Absolutely loved one-stick climbing because it was just such a minimalistic way of getting your stuff into the woods. But then I moved over into rope climbing, and for me, it's the safest way that you can climb by far. This particular way of two-tether climbing, I think, in my opinion, is the safest way to climb. There is the standard way of two-tether climbing where you're just hooked in with like 2 feet on one side, and you just climb up and you just move everything up, but you're still introducing a little slack to your system on that particular way. But with this 2-tether climbing system, I'm completely connected. There's no slack ever introduced into this system whatsoever. As I'm standing up on my left side, I'm moving my connection point to my main tether up, so that I'm secure on the right side, and then I can just lift up that tether. And then when I step up with my right foot, I'm going to adjust the ascender on the secondary bridge. I'll move that up the tether. Therefore, I'm secure on that side, and just vice versa all the way up the tree. So with each step, I'm completely 100% secure and tight to the tree with no chance to slip or fall. Everything, I'm completely secure. If I were to lose my balance, I'm just gonna bump into the tree. I'm not gonna drop anything like that. Just bump the tree and then just collect myself and just keep on going. This is gonna make a lot more sense once I put a full climb video out. And if you did get a little confused on like some of these knots and how this stuff goes together in play, just stick around for that next video. And you can also just check out the JRB channel, and he's got just about all of these hitches and knots and stuff on his channel. I don't know if he has a Swabish, but that Swabish has been around a long time. Saddle hunters know all about the Swabish hitch. But if there's anything that you need some clarification on, you can put it down in the comments below, or just check out the JRB channel and you can find exactly what you need. But seriously, just check out the next video. That is going to be a full climb from start to finish, and you'll see all of it come together. So thanks for watching. If you made it this far, give me that like, subscribe, and just drop a comment down below what your thoughts are on all the stuff that I carry. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.